Okay, 1 second here. Put this on Twitter here. Okay. Okay, hello guys. How are you guys doing today? I hope everyone's having a great Friday. How are you guys? Hey everyone. I'm good. How are you guys? I didn't get the chance to read most of it. I just kind of skimmed through it, and I was a bit confused by it. My day's been going good, Isaiah. Hello, Game Gar. How are you? I just got done watching your Sniper Elite playthroughs. Oh, hello, Lewis Jacobs. Hi, Mr. Waifu. Oh, what was your PSN juice? There's this new Sniper Elite game coming out in November. Hey, Mr. Waifu, what's wrong? There's a new Sniper Elite game coming out in November this month, but it's a VR game. But it's only on the Meta thing. What's Meta? Is that Facebook? Oh, okay. I'll see you, AN. You have school on Saturdays, by the way? Alex and Farah are somewhat unaware of the previous contract in Mexico that Graves did. Shadow Company is an ace-tier, wild card mercenary organization. Yep. Okay, see here, yeah, Graves is a well-written character, but I will tell you this, though, that, I don't know, no spoilers here, guys, please, in the comments, but I've already completed, what, like, 3 or 4 missions in Modern Warfare, the reboot, the Modern Warfare 3, and honestly speaking, I hope the story picks up, because I'm not that impressed by it so far. The only really cool mission so far that I played was the mission where you break Makarov out of prison. That was, like, the first one. That was kind of good. But, like, everything else was, like, so far was just, you know, these open world missions. They kind of feel lazy to me.
Oh, Lordy.
Okay, let's get over here. Oh, crap.
Hey, eyes where you want.
I'm doing good, Marcus. How are you? Thank you, Mr. Waifu, for the super chat. Do you like the Blood Money DLC? Oh, that was 2 years ago, and no, I didn't. Was not a fan of it. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare? Probably not. Maybe one day I'll revisit the older Call of Duty games I never played, but Well, I'm glad you enjoy my streams, LX, but is everything else okay, man?
Hellfire!
Really cold in Pennsylvania. What's the temperature? On my last days of my job, me and my coworkers got fired due to low sales. I know how Bungie must feel when management fails us. Nicki Minaj kills Makarov Hut. Thank you for the super chat, Jimmy. Wait, low sales? What kind of job was it, Phoenix? If you mind me asking.
Damn it all!
What's your favorite episode in the Boondocks where they roasted real-life people, just like how South Park roasted real-life people? Episode that roasted real-life people. I'm trying to think of which one. Homelander kills Makarov in a fit of rage. Thank you guys for the super chat. Thank you, Jimmy, Mr. Waifu. The thing about those the scam video, I'm gonna have the scam video up sometime next week, guys. Because the other day I sent the police in Nigeria and 2 emails. And I emailed 2 different cybercrimes departments in Nigeria, and I messaged the one that I previously emailed, and in my email I was kind of more rude to them because I had not gotten any kind of response for months, and the other one I never emailed before. That one I was a little bit more nice to them in, but I'm waiting a week to see if the police respond to me at all in an email. They're probably not going to. But we'll see. And I'm probably going to include that in the video as well.
Oh, you gonna see me again?
Okay, waiting until 2 minutes here. A little bit longer waiting. Am I gonna play Ghost of Tsushima? I did before in the past, but I might do it again. I did really like it.
Christ!
Yeah, waiting so the mission pays you a little bit more. You wait.
Hellfire!
Look who it is, and kicking the boot. Put him in the cell, won't you?
My favorite episode where they roasted real-life people, pro protecting people's cargo in real life. Well, thank you, Boostio. My favorite episode where they roasted people in real life is the Inspector something episode. It was the episode where they it was an episode where in that episode what happened was they went to a there was an Xbox killer, and then Tom got framed for a murder, and then Huey and Riley they went to Eddie and Rummy for help, and then the episode ended in like a shootout in a mini mart. If you want to know who that episode was actually making fun of in real life, that episode was actually making fun of George W. Bush in real life and roasting him. What a lot of people don't know is the part when Eddie and Rummy go into the convenience store with their guns, and there's that cop that's there, and then they point their guns at the cashier and they say throw down the weapon, and the cashier keeps saying there is no weapon, look. What that was basically making fun of, that whole thing was making fun of Bush, and it was also pointing out just how stupid the whole Iraq War was. That whole mini-mart shootout in the Boondocks was basically just a symbolism on how dumb the whole Iraq War started, just how stupid the whole thing was. That's pretty much what that Boondocks mini-mart shootout was. A lot of people didn't know that. Because there's a bit of symbolism, because the cashier actually says, I don't have a gun, you're thinking of the Korean shop north of here. When he says that, he's talking about North Korea. It's a reference to North Korea, which North Korea actually had WMDs, Iraq didn't. So that's what that whole Boondocks episode was actually pointing out. Let me see here. I consider using Shadow Company model for reboot to be ace tier because Graves is using RC-controlled tank, which shows he's not foolhardy in it. Thank you, Lendon, for the super chat. I never thought that Graves was alive anyways. I mean, I never thought that Graves was dead. I always thought that he was alive. The R. Kelly Boondocks episode is kind of crazy how the episode predicted that whole thing actually happening. For a chilled person, you are amazing. Thank you. Or music, thank you. The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Waifu. And when Rummy actually says that the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence, that's actually a reference to a U.S. politician. There was actually a U.S. politician who actually, Rummy is actually based on, who actually said that exact quote. He said that the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence when he was asked, why did you not find WMDs in Iraq, when you said there was WMDs in Iraq. But man, yeah, I remember when that whole war started. That was such a stupid war. Yeah, I actually did play the Ghost of Tsushima DLC, the Iki Island DLC. I did play it on my channel. I have streams of it when it first came out. I could do another playthrough of it, though. In your GTA 6 leak video, said Rockstar never said they were going to announce GTA 6. It's not true. Rockstar said they will say something about GTA 6 soon. LY, which LY? But Zombie Fanatic, Rockstar has said that they're working on the next GTA game, but they made no promises of any kind of announcement, which people keep saying that there's an announcement. Notice on Steam there was an update. What was it? Wait, Steam update? I'm not sure. I haven't been on Steam in a little bit. Did Bill go crazy like Dutch, where he's just trying to survive? Bill, I think, was a little bit mad with power. He was a bit dumb, and when he finally got power, he started doing some horrible things. Wishing Razu Musu a belated happy birthday. Well, thank you, Fernando. Happy birthday also, Razu, and thank you, Bunny and Zombie, for the super chats. And thank you, Mr. Waifu. Last year, oh yeah, Max Payne 3 is definitely a dark game. Thank you, and I'll play through the rest of Modern Warfare 3 when I get the chance. The Coney Juggernaut in Modern Warfare 2019 was clearly the toughest because he was essentially wearing an improvised heavy metal suit instead of an actual EOD suit. Yeah, I remember he appears in the final mission in Barkov's gas factory. He appears right at the last door. Thank you, Lendon, for the super chat. That's what it means. Oh, LY, last year. Okay. Okay, Zombie. Let me check my Moonshine business. Let's check Moonshine here. Bill's full name is Marion Williamson. Oh, okay. Well, wouldn't it be, well, where did you find that out, that was his full name? No, I haven't, Mario. I just haven't been on Twitter lately much, but I'll take a look at it after the stream. I have a bunch of good World War II games I'm going to be playing in the future on the channel, so don't worry. If you like my World War II game playthroughs, there's going to be a lot that I'm going to play through that you're going to like a lot. My favorite season of The Walking Dead.
We can sell it when you like.
maybe the 5th season. What are the chances of scalpers becoming an issue of GTA 6 like with the PS5? No, that's not gonna happen. Because GTA 6 is, you know, it's a video game. It's much easier to produce. And also, if scalpers, you know, try to buy up GTA 6, all the GTA 6 copies, you can just download it. So there's not gonna be any scalping with GTA 6, so don't worry about it. But speaking of which, does anybody in the comments know how I can get a PlayStation 5 Slim? Like, how do I pre-order that? Because I wanted to do a review on that. I wanted to do a review of the PlayStation 5, like a video reviewing it. But I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. I didn't see it on, like, Amazon or anything else like that. Is there, like, a website you pre-order it? Or like, when is it coming out? It's coming out this Christmas, right? That's when it's coming out? Let me see here. Oh, his name is Marion. Okay. Let me look at my things here. Daily challenges, Moonshine. Scariest Courage the Cowardly Dog episode? I think the scariest Courage the Cowardly Dog episode is... It's probably the one where, what is it, like Muriel and Eustace get turned into puppets? Or it's the, what other ones are pretty scary? Oh yeah, the other one that was really scary was one of the scariest episodes of Courage the Cowardly Dog is the one when Courage and Eustace go to that diner and like the pig runs that diner, and then there's the burgers that he brings out, and the burgers like Courage thinks that they're being made into people, and he thinks the butcher in like a diner is like killing people and turning them into burgers and stuff like that. And what happens is Courage runs away in that episode, but that episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog is one of the best episodes because it's really scary, but the thing about that episode is that's the only episode in the entire series where there was no threat. There was nothing bad actually happening. Like, because Courage always encounters like the craziest monsters and the scariest things, and so because of that he's just constantly paranoid that something bad is happening. But in that episode it was just his own paranoia getting to him. There was nothing bad that was going on. The guy at the diner was just sculpting people, so people would just sit down and he would just make their faces into food. That's what it was. It wasn't he wasn't killing anybody or anything like that. That entire episode had no threat before. Pro, your ad keeps playing every time I join your stream. What ad? What are you talking about? In the playthrough, what? Because I only have one ad that plays in my stream, only at the start. I don't have any mid ads. I don't have mid ads enabled on stream. In the playthrough, I saw you currently doing Undead Nightmare. I can already tell that it's a curse with the Running Dead because of the torch fire. Well, you're gonna find out where the zombies are coming from. There's actually an explanation for that, Lendon. Do I know T. Martin? Isn't that like that guy that does Call of Duty videos? Will I ever make a lore video about the Outlast games? I'm actually considering it. There was people that were, some people were really freaked out by Eddie Gluskin, which I actually had in Outlast Whistleblower showing him. Okay, let me see here. When can I sell this stuff?
I am yours to command.
1 hour and 18 minutes? Okay. Do you believe the SpongeBob fan feared, but the characters being mutants from the Bikini Atoll atomic test? No. No. Thank you, Silver Fox. There was 2 unskippable ads? What? Hang on a second. Let me look at my, I'm just gonna check my ads right now on the stream. Hang on. I have the thing turned on where ads only pop up if I hit the button for them. So there is no there should not be any mid-roll ads. Like, are any ads popping up when you guys are watching the stream? Because they shouldn't be popping up. I only have an ad on when you click the stream the first time. There should only be one. They should not be popping up mid-roll. Where's the cigars? Okay, there we go. I restored all my Deadeye, too. Bro, is a hot dog a sandwich? I guess technically speaking it might be. I really wish you could use the rolling block with iron sights. I really wish you could. Is it National Sandwich Day? Is cereal a soup? No.
We've got no time for you.
Yes, I'll definitely do a Manhunt series. It's been a heavily requested one, yes. Also, one reason why the Running Dead don't attack any Seth is because he hasn't showered in almost a year and smells like a corpse at that point. Oh, is that actually the lore explanation? Well, why doesn't he attack John then, though? And thank you, Mr. Devil Gaming, also for the sponsoring my channel for 21 months, nearly two years. Thanks, Lendon and Mr. Devil Gaming. Is it possible 5M could get locked behind GTA Plus if Rockstar owns the servers now? It's possible, but I highly doubt they'll do that, because there would be a huge amount of rage if they did that. Like, the community would be more outraged than anything before. I don't think they're going to do something like that. And you remember when Arnold took off his space helmet on Pluto in the Magic School Bus to prove a point to his annoying cousin Janet? I actually have never actually watched that show, Mario. I know the show that you're talking about, but I never actually watched it. Thank you, Bunny and Mario. I still have to claim the 1 million gold plus button from YouTube. I gotta claim that. Do you think GTA Online is canon? It's, yes it is. It is pretty much canon. But thankfully, they toned things down, like with the Doomsday Heist. They stopped going so crazy with it. Which, at least I appreciate that.
My God.
Does anybody here need to sell anything, by the way? Anyone need to sell anything? Cities Skyline 2? Probably not. I just wouldn't be into strategy games like that, U20. What if GTA 5 and San Andreas swap places? How different would they be if they swap release dates and universes? If San Andreas was the game that came out in 2013, I think that it would have been probably the best GTA game that ever came out. I think it would beat GTA 4 and everything. And some people, you know, yeah, and I would say San Andreas is already one of the best GTA games ever. But it's debatable about which GTA game is the best one. But I would say that San Andreas, I think, has the biggest map in the series, the best map, the best one. Because of the fact that it's, the map in San Andreas is just so diverse. 3 cities, forests, deserts, mountains, grasslands. Oh, crap. Oh, great. Yeah, San Andreas is definitely the best game of 2004. We're gonna need an elephant rifle for this. Okay. Hey Patrick, why do you use private lobbies glitch? Because I was getting harassed with people constantly joining my sessions before, and they would just attack me constantly over and over again. Camping properties. It's quite amazing what Rockstar could accomplish in the maps of San Andreas with limited hardware time. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely impressive what they managed to accomplish. Do I know Sindako Chronicles? Yes, I do. And I will play it one day.
Ah, you're back.
Thank you for the donating to the
Gonna be out
camp.
of supplies before too long.
What are the Sindako Chronicles? It's a mod on the PSP version of Liberty City Stories. It's like a DLC expansion where you play the Sindakos. It's not canon, but it's still cool.
You won't catch me petting that thing.
There we go. It got was glitching out a bit there. Seth probably domesticated the cursed Moses because their behavior similarities are no different to the walkers in The Walking Dead. Remember Seth's background. What's my favorite Payday heist? In the series, that's a tough one. In the third game, in the new game that just came out, I would say my favorite heist is probably the nightclub. In the, in Payday 2, my favorite heist is probably the, this one, gotta think about this one. Maybe the big bank? Yeah, that might be it. Man, I still got so much stuff that I never picked up. Yeah, I think that Rockstar killing off Johnny was stupid, and I'm gonna have a lore video talking about that, about Johnny. And how Rockstar did ruin that. That was a dumb thing that they did. Any of you guys need to sell anything? I'll probably reset this. Oh no, I can't reset it. Travel by horse 1,000 miles. That's 10th time I gotten it. What if you do another playthrough of Red Dead 2 single player? Could you keep the horse Hosea tries to make you sell during the legendary bear mission? I could try to do that, U20. I might play through Red Dead Redemption again, but it's gonna be a long playthrough because it's a really long game. Thieves Landing.
Oh, goddamn horse! Where the hell you going, you lump of meat?
Oh, oops.
You lousy piece of trash!
What? I just gave you back your... I just gave you back your wagon. I don't... He says lousy piece of trash and just runs away. Oregon Trail? What is that? Is that a Western game? Sounds like a Western game. Who is the worst love interest in GTA? Luis's ex-girlfriend in the Bout of Gay Tony. I hit him? Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry about hitting my horse. It was an accident.
I was really happy with what you did for me, you know. hell, I do not have the time to go over this with you. I'm busy for once. There's work to do. But take this note, and it'll tell you what you got to do. So go on.
I think Tommy Angelo was a
Do it
really
now.
good written
Go on,
character.
then. Go ahead.
I think the definitive edition made him so much better. Have I seen a No Russian reboot mission? I haven't gotten to it yet. Oh. Damn. Would I trust Devin Weston or Steve Haynes more? That's a tough one. Probably Steve Haynes more. At least Steve Haynes isn't greedy as hell like Devin Weston is. How do I have 40 rounds in this gun again? Okay, I don't know, but it's whatever. How did I...
Let's see how Boondocks gets that thick skull.
There we go. How does Deadeye work in online? Well, it doesn't slow down time, but there's different Deadeye abilities. My Deadeye ability, for example, is Focus Fire. Focus Fire, what that does is increases the damage of your shots for you and your teammates. No, Vice City is completely different. Vice City's Miami versus Los Angeles, which is LA, or Los Santos. I was definitely sad when Arthur died. Did you watch the new Day Before trailer? I might do a reaction to that. I don't know, there's this... That Day Before game, something just doesn't sit right with me, that game. I just feel like there's something off about it. I mean, does anyone else get that feeling? Molly? Oh, well, Molly never was a rat. She just said that to Dutch to piss him off. And Dutch is, like, really scummy to Molly. He constantly ignores her. Sell everything. You look amazing. Well, thank you. Do you think Brad is like Micah? Yeah, I do. In a way. He's like, Brad's extremely psychotic. He's unpredictable. He could betray the gang, too. He only cares about himself. Brad's even worse than Trevor. A lot of people don't know that, because Brad, you only see him in one mission, but if you hear the things about Brad, Trevor has some limits. Brad doesn't. I like your hat. Thanks, man. Brad would have killed Michael's kids, definitely, if he survived. Yeah, Brad would have killed Amanda, too. No, I know the show that you're talking about, Peaky Blinders. It's a, British, like, gangster TV show. I know what you're talking about, but I haven't seen it. I've seen bits and clips of it. My favorite 3D era protagonist? Probably Vic Vance. Yeah, I'd say Vic Vance. New Mortal Kombat? I won't forgive you, but it's just not in, me, but let's set things, right here. I love how even though Miles won't forgive Lee, at least he wanted to make things right. I did see a few clips of that before. That was actually a pretty well-written plot point that he got the guy that killed his dad to help him, save Peter. Would Winston Chu kill Brad if he met Brad? Yeah. Winston wouldn't be able to handle, Brad. I heard about them making Mafia 4, but we don't even know what it's going to be, but hang on one second here. We'll make a poll right now on this this thing on Sleeping Dogs, and I'm gonna ask people who they think the most evil character in Sleeping Dogs is. I think I know who's gonna win, but still make a post. One second here. This is gonna be a good poll when I make this one here. Okay, what was the name of that hitman in Sleeping Dogs, the one who tortures Wei? What was his name? Mr. Tong, was it, right? Mr. Tong? Yeah, Mr. Tong it was. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna make this poll. This will be a good one. One moment, everyone. I'm gonna look at the chat in just a second here. Curious how they vote on this. I'm pretty sure I know which character is gonna win on this. Okay, I put up the poll there. I don't like these ones where you gotta look for the, Oh, we found him already. Okay, good work, guys. Oh, Brad is a, horrible person. He's much worse than Trevor, also, Mario. Good work catching him already. Okay, good work. White Chang, I remember that. He said that to Lester on the phone, too.
Nothing yet. Kill him already!
Yeah, big... So guys, okay, so... For number one, the most evil character in Sleeping Dogs, what everybody voted for, 70% of people voted for Big Smile Lee. Number 2 most evil character in Sleeping Dogs has been Pendrew. And number 3 is Mr. Tong, and number 4 is Dog Eyes. Worst protagonist in the HD universe? I don't think there really is a worst protagonist, but considering what they did to Johnny now, I think Johnny would be the worst one, considering how they ruined him, but he was cool in The Lost and Damned. Let's look at the poll, see if anything changed here. I think that a lot of people underestimate how evil Dog Eyes was in Sleeping Dogs, because remember that Dog Eyes shot up his best friend's restaurant, and not only that, but he also had sent to hitmen to his best friend's wedding and massacred his best friend's wedding and killed him and his wife on their wedding day. So I think that I think people underestimate how bad Dog Eyes is too. I think that Big Smile Lee is the worst one, yeah. But Dog Eyes is pretty bad too. Mr. Tong is pretty evil also in Sleeping Dogs. He's a pretty bad guy, but Mr. Tong is a hitman. He just does whatever people tell him to do, without question. So he's always acting on somebody else's orders.
I know it isn't always easy, but I'm glad you brought them to face up to things. I got your bounty money here.
Well, Pendrew was doing the whole thing over a promotion, yes. Oh, we got Railroad Baron. Might as well do that. But let me, I just hope it's not like last week. Because last week when we joined Railroad Baron, that was terrible.
Welcome back, fella. Take a look at what we got.
Are the security contracts double money on GTA right now? Are they? What's the double money event on GTA right now? What is it? The reason I haven't done a double money event is because they just weren't good the last few weeks. That's why I stayed away from them, because they kind of sucked the last few ones. I'm usually gonna I'll make a double money guide when it's like
Thank you, kind.
when it's like a when it's something good like businesses and stuff like that. That's when I'll do it. Short trips, but is it security contracts? Somebody said security contracts. Are security contracts doubled right now in GTA? Are they? They are, okay. Well, it's kind of too late for me to make it now because it's Friday. Next week, I'll tell you guys what. I'll make one next week if it's a good event week. Oh, what happened? It's Rail Baron is gone? I don't think I even took 3 minutes on that. Why is Outlast 2 so hated? I guess it was because people didn't think it was as good as the first game, but it's still a good one. When is the PS5 Slim coming out? Because I want to do a review on that one. I do want to do a review on it. At least these guns are clean. My birthday's next week. Well, happy early birthday then, Blades. Happy birthday, man. What the hell? Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, great. Ooh. How do you get the PS5 Slim? How do you even get it? Do you have to pre-order it somewhere? How does that even work? I'm surprised you still live stream GTA Online rather than online because I would have gotten bored after like 5 minutes, lol. Well, look, I'll tell you guys something, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If I was playing Red Dead Online right now, like by myself, I'd be bored out of my mind. I would. But I'm playing with like 2 friends here, and we're also chatting on the stream, so it makes things interesting. It makes things more fun. I will never, end streams on this game. I will always do them every Fridays. But this game, Rockstar has done so much damage to this game. So much. Wanting to sell my truck to downgrade to a sedan, but also trying to get the most value out of it. Any suggestions? Well, I don't know what condition your truck is in, but I'll tell you something. Make sure that the inside of your truck is completely clean. I'm sure inside of your truck is already clean, but just double check that it is. Because a lot of people, what they do is they sell cars when the inside, I wouldn't say it's necessarily dirty, but it could be cleaner. Because if your car is clean on the inside, you can actually get more money for that typically. Typically, buyers will pay more money if the car is actually cleaner inside. So that's one thing I would suggest on that too. Also, another thing I would do is I would Google your specific truck and how much that truck is worth, and look up the miles and everything like that, just so you're knowledgeable. So that if somebody tries to lowball you, you can at least, you're knowledgeable about what you have. Thank you, Victor, for the super chat. Crow will be doing Red Dead Online streams in 2050. Yeah, I'll probably be streaming Red Dead Online in 2050, and then I'm gonna be, how old will I be? I'd be 60 years old at that point, and then I'd be like, is Rockstar releasing the next update anytime soon? Some people buy dirty cars to clean them and sell them for more money. Yeah, you're right on that. They do. Outlast Trials. I'll consider it. Yeah, I'll look into it. The Martin Lee redemption arc was good. Do you think that it's hypocritical that people complain about Fox News being biased but turn a blind eye to CNN and MSNBC for their own bias? Yeah, I would agree with you. Not to get into the politics of any of that, but what I will say in the media in this regard is that every single media source has some bias. Some medias are more biased than others, obviously, but every single media source is biased. But I will tell you, though, and this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter politically. It doesn't matter what you believe. Do you know what the difference is between, for example, like CNN and Fox News? The main difference between the two of them. There is actually a difference, and I'm not talking about the conservative and the liberal bias. I'm talking about how they present their things, how they present it. There is a difference between the two of them. Because I've watched a lot of CNN and I've watched a lot of Fox, and I can tell you though. The difference between Fox and CNN, what's the difference between them? The difference is that at least Fox News admits their bias. Fox News doesn't hide their bias. They say, we are conservative, that's our bias, that's our viewpoint. They don't try to pretend that there's something they're not. You might like them or might not like them, but at least Fox admits their bias. CNN, on the other hand, does not admit their bias at all. If you watch CNN, they will say several times, we're not biased, we're neutral, we don't take sides, but I've watched a ton of CNN, and it's clear CNN very much has a left-wing bias. It's clear. It is very obvious. So that's the difference between Fox and CNN, is that at least Fox admits they're biased to the right, but CNN won't admit that it's biased to the left. That's the only difference between the two networks, really. Let me see here. Let me see, what do we got here for target bounty? Okay. Mortal Kombat, I could play that. Maybe I could play Tekken also one day. In 2050, Pro's voice will be Grandpa Mason. What is the worst Assassin's Creed game? I would say maybe the new ones, because the new ones are just, besides Mirage, like the new ones are just, they're just basically like spongy enemies that you're fighting, and it's just like an RPG game they're trying to turn Assassin's Creed into. So my truck is a 2016 Ram 1500, and I keep the inside clean, no smoke or food, reaching 65,000 miles, and only 7 years old, aiming at best for $25,000. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good deal, though, Victor, or not. I do know one thing, though. I know those Ram trucks are, like, really expensive. So what you're asking for, you might be able to get. But what I would do if I was you, Victor, is have some kind of paperwork with your truck to make sure to tell people that it's in good condition, because people want to make sure that nothing bad has happened to the truck, that it hasn't had any issues, nothing repaired or anything like that. And if you have that, that'll definitely get you more buyers. Where is the bias in CNN news reporting? It's hard for me to explain, but if you look at the way that just look at the way that CNN covers anything. The way that CNN clearly has a left-wing bias. If you just watch enough of CNN, like I can't give you a specific example at the top of my head, I'm sorry right now, but if you just watch it enough, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. It does. And that's what I say is that every single media on this planet has some form of bias. It does. Every single one. But it's like I said, the difference between CNN and Fox, the difference between them, is that at least Fox admits its bias, whereas CNN doesn't. That's the, that's the difference that I'll say between the two. If you want to watch the most non-biased news, like if you want to watch news that's completely non-biased, it still will have bias, but it's a lot less. Watch local news. If you watch local news, like your local news station, like in your city or your town, then chances are it has the least amount of bias. It just local stations just in general just have much less bias than like mainstream ones. So if you just want to watch just like a news station that's just talking about the news and nothing else really, then it's gonna be your local news station. Killer capture the targets, okay. The least biased news stories, your crazy current event stories. Well, thank you, man. No, I don't think Assassin's Creed was the worst one. I think Assassin's Creed was definitely a decent game.
Whoa! Get your ass out of here! What's that about? Why you carrying on like this? You half-wit son.
Have I ever been pulled over by the police? When I was a dumb teenager, I did get stopped by a cop once. This, this happened many years ago. But basically, I didn't get in any trouble or anything like that. But the reason that the reason the cop stopped me and two of my friends is because what we were doing is we were ding-dong ditching. So we were just ringing people's doorbells and just running. We were just dumb kids at the time. We were just ringing people's doorbells and running away. And, we didn't damage anybody's property, anything like that. We just rang people's doorbells and ran away. But somebody called the cops, and a cop, came by, and, he saw us in the area, just like a bunch of kids, and he just stopped us, and he just basically says, are you guys doing this? And we kind of admitted that we're ringing doorbells, and he just said, the cop, what did he say? He said, you sound like good kids, just please stop being idiots. That's what he said. And after that, we never did it again. So we never, rang anybody's doorbell ever again. That was really the last time that we ever did something like that. Since Saints Row 2 is your favorite game, what is your second favorite? GTA 4, probably. Did that cop have an influence on you wanting to become a cop? Not really, no. But yeah, but we never ding-dong ditched ever again. We never did after that. So that was the last time we ever did it. But the thing about that is we were always wondering, who does that? Who calls the cops on kids ding-dong ditching? Who does that? That's what we were thinking about. Because when I had my doorbell rang a few times, and dumb kids ringing and running away, I never called the cops on kids over that. So I was just wondering who did that. But is Wei Shen a bit of a corrupt cop? Not really, because Wei is breaking the law, but he's not breaking the law to benefit himself. He's breaking the law to stop, criminals, which are a much greater threat.
Oh no. You have one more for me? Ah.
Oh, I heard of this one.
Oh yeah, being a cop is extremely stressful today. I agree with you. The most evil character in the Mafia games? I haven't played much of Mafia 3, so I can't answer that question. But between Mafia 1 and 2, most evil character? Maybe Carlo Falcone or Morello. What's your question, Quits? Can you post your question again? Besides zombies, what would you like to see in a third game for Call of Duty Modern Warfare entry besides zombies, mythological forces, aliens, regular spec ops? Also, guys, anybody, I'm sure there's somebody in the comments here that follows Call of Duty. One of my friends, I was talking to one of my friends in the party today, and we were talking about the Modern Warfare Zombies mode, how it's like DMZ but with zombies. And one of my friends, he told me that there are other people that spawn in the lobby besides you, that there's like other people like across the map, like other players that are outside of your squad, and you can't kill those players. So, is that true? So, my question is, what's the point of meeting random players if you can't kill them? Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna grief other players and stuff like that, but it's like you're all running around this apocalyptic scenario, and you can kill every single zombie that you can see, but you can't kill other players. So I don't understand that in Modern Warfare Zombies. Is that true, that you can't kill the other players in the mode? You can only kill the zombies? Because that's stupid if that's true. Because the thing about DMZ is, in DMZ, I hated griefers, I did. But it was very satisfying when you killed them. If you killed like a bunch of griefers that killed your squad, it was really satisfying when you killed them and you took their stuff and they were like raging. So that's I have tips. I want to start investing. Do you have tips for researching companies or any personal experiences and tips? Not really. I do the stock market occasionally, but I haven't done the stock market in months. So I've really stayed away from it. The reason I've stayed away from it is because I'm scared that something's going to go wrong with the stock market. But what I would, if you're going to be doing stocks, the best advice that I can give you with stocks is stay away from penny stocks. Stay away from them. Because there are so many clickbait YouTube channels out there that like basically like make misleading videos where they tell people like, you know, buy this penny stock, it's about to explode, you're gonna make like a lot of money. Like, don't watch those videos, stay away from that. Penny stocks, the reason that so many people buy penny stocks is because penny stocks can rapidly change, which means that if you buy a ton of shares in a penny stock, you can make a lot of money really, really quickly. However, though, there's also the negative, where you can lose a lot of money really fast. Penny stocks are typically new companies, smaller companies that aren't that recognized. That's why their stock is so cheap. But if something goes wrong with that company, if they're testing like a new product and the product goes wrong, something goes bad with it, that stock is going to drop so much, and it's going to take months or years, or it might never even recover, and you might lose money. So that's what I would say, is stay away from penny stocks. If you have to buy stocks in companies that you absolutely trust. Like, there are two companies that I trust in the stock market. And if I do buy stocks, there's only two companies that I ever buy stock in. And those two companies are Amazon and Coca-Cola. I don't touch anything else. I literally don't touch any other stock except Amazon and Coca-Cola. Those are the only two. And the only reason I chose those only two stocks, they're massive, giant corporations. So Coca-Cola is the largest soda company in America. Amazon's the largest, e-commerce store in America. And so those companies are not going to fall apart. Those companies are not going away anytime soon. And so those companies typically are, nothing bad is going to happen typically if you buy stock in them. But I'm not an expert, so, don't take my advice for 100%, but that's just my thoughts personally on it. I would like to see just special forces. Can somebody explain to me what's happening with DMZ? I talked to a buddy of mine about this, and he told me that DMZ is cutting support. Because DMZ is the only thing I play on Modern Warfare 2. I love DMZ. DMZ is my favorite Call of Duty mode of all time. It definitely is my favorite Call of Duty mode of all time. Why is it true that DMZ is getting canceled? I'm not gonna be able to play it in Modern Warfare 3. Can somebody explain to me how that's gonna work? DMZ in Call of Duty, that it's getting cut. Somebody in the comments explain what's going on with that. Because I thought that Modern Warfare 3 was gonna have DMZ. I did. Okay, let me go. DMZ is Demilitarized Zone. It's a mode in Call of Duty. It's a really good one, but it's being canceled, which I really don't like. Amigo, I saw you at the store. I don't know if you were on the west side. Hearts, maybe. It was a man that looked like you. I didn't want to bug you. What store? What store in city? I just, if I'm gonna fight enemies in the game, I'd rather fight soldiers. I don't want to fight, like, I don't want to fight, like, aliens or something mythological.
Person only kills that much to show off.
No, it's not, I'm not in Arizona, dropship. I wouldn't be able to live in Arizona, though, no offense. It's a nice state. It's very affordable, but it'd just be too hot for me. I can't take the heat. DMZ will not have anything new added with Modern Warfare 3, but you can still play it in Modern Warfare 2. Oh man, come on. It's DMZ basically got the Red Dead Online treatment early.
Pardon me, mister.
I actually considered moving to Alaska at one point. But the reason I never ended up going to Alaska is because, the reason I didn't choose Alaska is because, I don't care about the cold in Alaska, that doesn't bother me. In Alaska, in some supermarkets, stuff is more expensive to buy because it's just so farther away from the mainland. And also on top of that is, when you order anything online, it's gonna take so much longer to get to you, like so long. So it's, that's why I didn't choose Alaska. Let me look up if there's any Red Dead Online events happening recently.
Hello.
Let me see, 1 second here. Here, 1 second. Call of Duty Ghosts got abandoned. Yeah, it really sucked. Let's see Red Dead Online event schedule.
God damn it.
There's gonna be Day of Reckoning. I don't want to do Day of Reckoning.
What the hell is wrong with
Let's see here. Wild Animal Kills Challenge not come on. That one sucks. Thank you, Shark. Thank you, Shark Dude, Dude Rock, for the super chat. Why do people who make money over computers keep living on shores when life is much more cheaper inland? Are you when you say computers, are you talking about people that like work online? I would say probably because they probably like say that they probably think that like the big tech companies are like on the coasts. That's probably why. But here's the thing. If you work online, like you can do your job remotely, like it doesn't matter where you live and they still pay you, move to a state that has no state income tax. Because then when you do that, or a state that has very low taxes in general, because then you're still going to be making the same amount of money, and you're moving to a cheaper state, because you still have the same job, but you're working online, and you can save a lot of money. Let me go back to my Moonshine shack. Some people like coastal locations, I guess, but it's,
Howdy.
yeah, I guess extinction mode was kind of cool. I will say that, Zach. 14 minutes. Okay.
I have finished this batch. We can sell it when you like.
I hear no end to your kindnesses. You're just trying to impress those lowdowns, ain't you? We got ourselves a music lover.
Yes, Call of Duty is my favorite Call of Duty game, yes.
Okay, boys, just like always.
Pro, what is the worst torture method used in history? The Romans had this ancient method where they would basically put somebody into this big steel bull, and they would just make it hotter and hotter until you would basically burn to death inside. That might be the worst one. Also, one of the stupidest execution methods ever. It was such a stupid one. Where this happened in my country in America, but we weren't America yet. It was just the colonies still. This happened, you know, like 100 years before the American Revolution. More than that, actually. Yeah. When they were doing the witch trials. When the witch trials happened, what they basically did was, if you were accused of being a witch, what they would do to test if somebody was a witch or not, they would throw somebody in a lake, like in water, and like tied with bricks. a lot of times. And that was a test to see whether you were a witch. And if somebody drowned, that means that they were innocent. But if they were a witch, they would float up. And considering the fact that everybody would be drowning, you'd think that they would end this and stop doing that, but that's how stupid they were. So that was the actual thing they did. It was stupid. If you drowned, you're guilty. If you floated, you were retrieved and killed anyways. Oh well. Well, I remember I did a lore video on it actually, on that specific thing, talking about that. I was doing it on the Dark Pictures. Yeah, it was on the Dark Pictures game. I remember I did that one.
All right here, folks.
We never had a Call of Duty game where we fought creatures from Norse mythology. I guess. Oh, somebody's right next to it. Pierston, get him. You're right next to him. Oh, the witch trials. We were talking about that before. Fernando. Have you heard about a YouTuber in Japan who snuck into a train without paying and stole food from a hotel? Yes, I did. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. The YouTuber who was stealing food, and not paying for it, he like skipped the bill, right? He just ran out. That YouTuber, isn't that the same guy who hugged Elon Musk? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the same guy who did the video of hugging Elon Musk? Is that the same one? But it's, this is what I'll tell you about this, is that these YouTubers create a really bad image for foreigners. The Japanese, here's what a lot of people don't understand about Japan. A lot of people always say, I want to move to Japan, I want to move to Japan. What people don't understand about Japan is that the Japanese are a very closed society. I wouldn't say the Japanese are like, I'm not saying the Japanese are racist, it's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying the Japanese are like more of a, how do I say, they're just not as open to a lot of people. Just a lot of people, they're more tightly community. They're more together, basically. So they're just not used to just large amounts of people from other countries coming into their country. Close society, more of it, yeah. And what happens is, when these YouTubers go to Japan, and they do, like, dumb things like that, that gives foreigners, like, a really bad image. And then the Japanese are going to be like, oh, we don't want other people coming into our country because of this. So every single time that a YouTuber does something like that, they don't, it gives, you know, all foreigners a bad name in Japan. There's an upcoming Assassin's Creed game around the witch trials. What? Yeah, the Logan Paul incident, I remember when that happened, too. The thing what I'll tell you guys is, what I'll tell you guys about this is foreigners oftentimes do really stupid things in Japan, and it's very easy to offend people in Japan. Very easy. A lot of things that foreigners typically do that offends people. One thing that you're not supposed to do when you go into Japan, that a lot of times foreigners do, is when you go into somebody's home in Japan. Oh, gotta get away from this bear. But when you go into somebody's home in Japan, typically what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take your shoes off immediately, just right away. In my country, in America, it's acceptable a lot of times to walk into somebody's house with shoes depending on what the homeowner wants. Like, a lot of times in America, you will ask people, should I take my shoes off? Like, you're coming into somebody's house, do you want me to take my shoes off? You typically, that's very common in America. People will just say, do you want me to take my shoes off when you're inviting somebody into their house? And they'll say yes, or they'll say, no, it's fine, you can keep them on. But in Japan, if you actually say that, should I take my shoes off? That's actually considered offensive. You're not even supposed to ask that. You're supposed to just do that immediately, right away. So that's, there's a lot, and there's way more things that people do, like, people in Japan also value their honor a lot. And you don't want to do something that's defamation is considered much more serious in Japan than it is in America. 10 years ago, back in 2013, the worst thing I remember when Microsoft added the DRM policy to Xbox One and expected you to like it, I got a PS4. The DRM, what's the DRM policy? And expected you to like it, I got a PS4. Oh, you got a PS4. But wait, don't I have you added on PlayStation? I'm sorry, I'm just confused right now. And thank you. Phoenix, is it? Is that what your name is there, Phoenix? Japan, actually, here's the thing about Japan. What's one thing that's a bit weird about Japan? Typically, countries that are very traditionalist are typically pretty religious. So when you have really traditional countries, the countries are typically pretty religious as well. It doesn't matter what religion they are, just traditionalist countries are typically religion, whatever their main religion is. But Japan, on the other hand, is not a very religious country. It's not that religious, but it's very traditional. So that's what's a little bit different about Japan comparing it to some other countries. Well, I wanted to visit Hokkaido one day in Japan. That I wanted to visit. But, what was it about it? I remember I watched a YouTube video, like a year or two ago, and that YouTube video, it was this British girl who was visiting Japan, and she was just complaining in the video how nobody speaks English, and she was saying how she got into a taxi, and the taxi driver did not speak English at all, and she was just complaining about that. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, do you speak Japanese at all? Do you understand Japanese at all? It's like, you know, you're coming into their country as a guest, and you're complaining that they don't speak your language. That is one of the stupidest things I could possibly think of somebody complaining about. Because if you want to go into another country, you're visiting them, and you're supposed to be interacting with people in the country, you should at least try to learn the language. Basic. The dumbest TikTok trend I've seen? That's a good one. Good question. There was one where, like, kids would destroy bathrooms. That was pretty stupid. Or there was the one where people would make chicken with NyQuil. That's what it was. That was stupid, too. No, you shouldn't be ashamed of where you're from. Just if there's like if there's somebody that's being like an idiot, you know, there's being an idiot. It doesn't represent your your people, your country. Oh, that Mizzy guy, I remember that too, yeah. That British YouTuber that was just, he was breaking into people's houses. That's what he would call a prank. You break into somebody's house, that's not a prank.
Rat bastard.
No, I don't, Elian. What is that?
Oh, for Christ's sake.
If that ain't a face I know from the posters, put him in the cell. Whatever it said on the poster, it's all right there for you.
Clear. I need to pass.
They keep their environment so clean in Japan, still freaks me out. Yeah, and what I'll say about that is I've watched videos where, like, people walk down the streets in, like, downtown Tokyo, and I've watched videos on, like, subway stations in Japan, and the thing that I am so amazed by with the subways and the streets in Japan is that it's so clean for the most part, and the subways arrive on time. They're always on time, and inside the subway, it's actually really clean. There's, like, no stains, there's no graffiti, none of that stuff. None of that stuff on the platform, you don't see any rats, none of that. And everything is just so organized and so clean. And the reason that Japan is so organized and so clean, the reason for that, I don't know what their littering laws are like, but I do know that it's considered extremely dishonorable in their culture to litter. I mean, every culture it's dishonorable to litter, but in Japan they very heavily frown on that. Like, people will be driving on the highway, they'll have a bottle of water and they'll just throw it out the window, they don't care. But, like, even in Japan, that's a big no-no. Like, you don't do something like that. Okay, I'm sure they do, Zach. What do you think of Microsoft banning third-party controllers on Xbox? No, that's stupid. The only time that a controller should be banned is if it's a controller that allows cheating. That's the only time. But if it's like a third-party controller, that's basically Microsoft trying to create a monopoly on the controllers, which I don't like. No, I haven't. CW Games. Yes, they do, Fernando. $3,027 years from today, life will either be really good or really bad. It's 5,050. The planet might not even exist in 5,050, depending on what happens. But thank you, Blood Reina. Because our future might be very bad. A lot of people don't know that. Wait, you donated to who, Phoenix? I know there's an alternative ending. After I beat the game, I found out if you beat Max Payne 2 on the hardest difficulty, Mona survives. I did CW Games. Melbourne's trains are quite clean too, despite some of the fleet being from the 1980s. Those 1980s trains have been well refurbished over the years, and I'm quite sad they're being retired now. Oh, but I don't know what the transit system is like in Australia.
Allons-y.
You know what I always wished? I wish that we would I gotta wait again. There's nothing to sell here. Oh, okay, Phoenix. Thank you, Mario. You know what I always wanted is I always wanted, like, my country, the U.S., to have, like, a high-speed rail system. I always wondered, like, why we never had something like that. I thought that would be cool, having, like, a high-speed rail system. But what a lot of people don't know is that 90% of all of our rails in the U.S. are not passenger. They're industrial. They ship stuff like containers and other stuff like that. That's what the majority of rail is like in America. But it would be so cool if we had high-speed rail in America. I think we definitely would be able to do it. We definitely would. You know, we're one of the strongest countries in the world, but it would take many years, possibly decades, to build up a high-speed rail network. But that's the thing about it, is if I was visiting, like, my parents, because I fly a bit when I visit my parents, because I live in the Midwest, my parents live in New York. You know, if I visit my parents, like, you know, if I had the option, would I rather take a flight or a high-speed train, or I'd take a high-speed train, even if it's a little more expensive and a little longer, because I can just relax in the train, get up, walk around, you know, have some food, you know, on the table. So it's probably sleep in it, depending on what type of train you get into. So that's what I say, but okay. Does anybody need help sell anything? You can thank the automakers for making the U.S. car-centric. I would love other options of transportation. I don't know if it's really necessarily because of the automakers, Victor. Nobody's ever just built up a passenger rail network. I mean, we did that originally with the Intercontinental Railroad. That was during the Industrial Revolution, but then afterwards it never went all passenger. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Quits. Some other idiot on TikTok filmed himself kidnapping children and walking with their parents on the sidewalk. He would just pick them up and run away laughing. After he got his videos, he would drop them. What? That guy needs to be arrested. What is wrong with people? What are some books you read? Animal Farm, and then there was none. All Quiet on the Western Front. I'm trying to remember what else I read. It's been many years. I know, but Amtrak kind of sucks, though, Mario. Pierston, do you need to sell anything? Pro, are you affiliated to any party? No. Yes, I did read To Kill a Mockingbird. That one I remember. It was a long time ago. What role should I buy first? Yeah. Bounty Hunter, probably. Because Bounty Hunter, you can just wait until the timer runs out and just get more gold and more money. And that'll help you unlock the other roles. So yeah, that's what I would say about it. In nature, both Dutch and Napoleon manipulate the rulers in order to benefit them. Yeah, you're talking about Napoleon the pig in Animal Farm. That's what you're talking about. the thing about I don't think Dutch had like a personally. I don't think Dutch is completely comparable to Napoleon in Animal Farm, because Napoleon in Animal Farm was just bad in general. Like, he was just trying to constantly just take power, and he didn't really care about anyone else but himself. Dutch, to a degree, seems like he cared about people. His plans started failing, and things didn't start going the way he wanted, and then he got pissed off and he started blaming people in his group, and everything just fell apart. Honestly, did you see the video where a man got road rage because of traffic and drove into a parade? Yes, I did see that, Dylan. That video's going around viral. Yes, I saw that one. Yeah. And he recorded himself on camera, which you know, is going to make a very easy case for the prosecution. What I would say is the most comparable historical person to Dutch van der Linde,
Hey, I gotta be somewhere.
let's see here. Let's see, 1 second here. Maybe I missed any comments. Oh, you shouldn't. People shouldn't be making fun of you when you're born merciless. Most people are just idiots. Don't listen to anybody making fun of you for when you were born. But the most comparable historical person to Dutch, yes, you got that from me probably, Ace, right? Is Maximilien Robespierre. Maximilien Robespierre is probably the most comparable person to Dutch. His story is extremely similar to Dutch, very, very similar. And Robespierre and Dutch are both revolutionary figures. Both of them had really good ideas at one point. Both of them cared about the poor, they cared about people. Both Robespierre and Dutch fought against elites. They both hated rich elite aristocrats. They both cannot stand those people. They believed in a society where people could be free to control their own destinies. Both Robespierre and Dutch, both of them went insane. Both of them went insane. They both started killing people when they went insane. And both Robespierre and Dutch also had very similar deaths, where both of them had a last stand against the military, and they both died in it. So it's extremely similar how Dutch, they both were revolutionaries, they had good ideas. They were both, you know, fought for equal rights for people. They both, you know, both Robespierre and Dutch were against racism. They were against the rich elites. They wanted to change the society. They believed that people should be controlled their own destinies. But both of them went insane, and both of them started killing people, and both of them had a last stand against the military, and that's how they died. What is this here? What's going on over here? But did you get that from me, Ace, when I was talking about Robespierre? How did you find out about Maximilian? I never heard of him. I liked reading a lot. And the French Revolution is my favorite topic to read about. If you want to know something, most people are going to know Robespierre from this, if you haven't heard of him. Robespierre is the guy in Assassin's Creed Unity. Remember in Assassin's Creed Unity? He's the guy who just starts cutting people's heads off. That's who Robespierre is. He's in Unity. He's an antagonist. What happens is there's that part in Unity when you break into his hotel, and then Elise asks him where's Germain, and then she shoots him in the head, and he survives like a headshot. And then afterwards, the National Guard, they grab him. He was a real person. You can find this target. Sometimes it's actually faster if you just run around looking for him instead of just doing the clues. But yeah, I don't think that history has been fair to I don't think that history has been fair to Robespierre personally, because Robespierre was not like this evil, you know, person that like history describes him as. Like, he wasn't a good person. He did horrible things, sure, but like, you know, people like comparing him to like people like Stalin, for example, like Robespierre. They're saying, oh, he's the French Stalin. Robespierre is nothing like Stalin. It's not even close. Like, Stalin is like 100 times worse than Robespierre. But with Robespierre, he sent thousands of people to the guillotine. Yes, that is true. He did kill a lot of people. He did have a lot of executions. But when I say that history has not been fair to Robespierre, what I'm talking about is, for example, like if you compare like Stalin and Robespierre, did Stalin do any good things? Because I can't think of any good things that Stalin did. Literally, the only good thing that I can think of that Stalin did was defeating the Nazis. That was like the only good thing that I can think of that he did. But that was because, remember, the Nazis betrayed Stalin and they invaded the Soviet Union. So chances are he probably still wouldn't have done anything if he hadn't gotten betrayed. But like, if you look at Robespierre, for example, Robespierre did do good things before he went crazy. Like, Robespierre ended slavery in France. A lot of people don't know that. Britain was not the first Western country to end slavery. A lot of people think it's Britain. It was actually revolutionary France. It was actually the first country to ban slavery. They made it illegal. Robespierre was part of that. He hated slavery. But the thing about that is the reason that Britain gets credit for ending slavery first is because when Napoleon came to power in his coup, when he became dictator and emperor of France, he brought back slavery in Haiti. But France technically was the first country to ban it, but then Britain banned it afterwards permanently. But Robespierre was part of that. He ended slavery. Robespierre believed that the poor should have a greater role in society. He believed that the poor and the rich were equal on a social level. He did not like the aristocracy. He did not think that religion should be part of government. He believed that the poor had just as much of a say in the government as the rich, and that you should not have special privileges because of your birth. And Robespierre, at one point, actually opposed the death penalty. People don't know that. He opposed the death penalty. The guy who sent thousands of people to the guillotine, he was against the death penalty at one point. He was. What changed his mind, what ended up happening was France was involved in a few wars with a few other countries. There was other countries that were trying to invade France at that time, and they were like, it was Prussia, which was the largest German state. Britain was also attacking France. Spain was also part of it too. And these countries were invading France because they wanted to put the revolution down. Because the French Revolution was one of the greatest revolutions in history. Because the French Revolution was the beginning of the end for absolute monarchy in Europe. Because it shifted the powers in Europe where the common man, the common peasant, had much greater role in society. The peasants had more rights. They had more of a role in government. These special privileges the aristocrats had were being put away. The reason that Robespierre started supporting the death penalty and the reason that he went insane was what ended up happening was the king of France. France is a constitutional monarchy. The king of France tried to flee France, and he tried to run to Austria because his wife was Austrian and her cousin was the ruler of Austria. And so they were trying to flee to Austria, and from Austria, he would have organized an army to invade France. So Louis tried to have his own country invaded, and those Austrian troops would have come into France and killed tons of French people. And so the king of France basically betrayed his country, betrayed his people. And after that, Robespierre changed his mind, saying that we need to bring the death penalty back for somebody like Louis. And so he brought the death penalty back. And what ended up happening is there was these people that were conspiring. Because Robespierre was not a good man. I'm not defending all the horrible things that he did. But Robespierre, to a degree, was right that there was a conspiracy against the revolution. When Robespierre was saying there was a conspiracy to put the French Revolution down, he was right in that. There was a conspiracy. What Robespierre was wrong about was how big the conspiracy was. The conspiracy, at most, maybe had hundreds of people involved in it. Well, Robespierre believed it was much bigger than it actually was. It had thousands of people involved in it. He thought it was thousands of people involved in it when it wasn't that big. And so he started doing the Reign of Terror, where people started getting accused of ridiculous things. Like if you had nice clothes and you were walking down the streets, you might be accused of being a member of the aristocracy, and so you might get your head cut off. So, you know, stuff like that happened. So there was a lot of innocent people that got killed during the Reign of Terror, but there was also guilty people. There was people that were working with the monarchy. There was people who were plotting against France that got executed. So there was some guilty people that got executed during the Reign of Terror. But we don't know exactly how many people were guilty and how many people were innocent. But judging by the fact that a lot of people got snatched off the streets during Robespierre's Reign of Terror, we can assume that a lot of the people were innocent also. So that's about Robespierre. And Robespierre, in the end, he was making like a speech where he was saying that there's a conspiracy against the revolution. People got sick of it because they thought that they'd be next. And so the entire parliament went against him. He fortified himself in a hotel, and the military went against him. And the military stormed the hotel. He had a last stand against the military. And when in Assassin's Creed Unity, when Elise actually shoots Robespierre in the face, that's actually historically accurate. Robespierre actually did get shot in the face. But the thing about that is there's two versions of why he got shot in the face. The first version is that when the soldiers attacked the hotel, that one of the soldiers shot him in the face during the struggle. The second version is that he tried to shoot himself in the head. That was a pistol. That was the second version. But regardless, he survived the headshot, and the next day he was executed by the guillotine, his own weapon that he had used. So, about Robespierre, did Robespierre deserve to get executed? Yes, he did. He did deserve to get executed because Robespierre was a threat to peace at that point. He was unstable. You know, Robespierre was so crazy at the time that he was executed that he even formed his own religion. He wanted to form his own religion in France. So he had gone absolutely insane. He's gone mad. So he needed to be killed. He needed to be executed because he was too far gone. He was too far lost. Like it's the same thing like with Dutch. Like Dutch might have been a good person at one point, but like what happened to him in Red Dead Redemption, he had to be killed. He had to be stopped because there was no helping Dutch at that point. He was just so far gone, there was no helping him. And that's the same thing with Robespierre. Robespierre was a good man at one point. He was an honorable person. He was a good guy. He did have good beliefs. He did care about the poor. But unfortunately, the thing with Robespierre is Robespierre went crazy. He went insane. He lost it. He lost it. He went insane over time, and he started executing people. And so that's the thing about Robespierre is when you think of somebody like Robespierre, you typically think, oh, that's the guy who cut off so many people's heads in the French Revolution. But nobody thinks about the good things that he did too. So he was a bad guy, yes. But he didn't start out as a bad guy. He was originally a good guy. He had good ideas. He wanted to help reform France. Unfortunately, though, he went insane. That was the thing. He went insane. And the thing about Robespierre is he wasn't like a power-hungry dictator. Robespierre believed that what he was doing was right. He did generally believe that. It was just what he was doing was wrong at that point with all the executions that he did. So the thing about that is that here's the thing. If Robespierre never executed anybody, like if Robespierre did not do the Reign of Terror, like if that event did not happen, the Reign of Terror, Robespierre would have gone down as one of the greatest people ever in history, not just in France, but one of the greatest people ever in history. If he had not started the Reign of Terror, but the Reign of Terror destroyed his image. That was basically what he was too far gone at that point. So if he never did the Reign of Terror, if he never started killing people, then he would have gone down as a good person in history. Robespierre would have. Fun fact, French would fight over who got guillotined first since the blade would lose its sharpness during use. One wouldn't wish to die a slow death with their head barely on. Yeah, I remember watching an animation where it depict how countries fought in war and they depict the French as cowards, probably a joke. Well, here's the thing about it, during the French Revolution, France destroyed every single country that invaded them. Every single country that attacked France failed. It was a massive failure. So during the French Revolutionary Wars, France had a new military during the French Revolutionary Wars, and that new military destroyed everyone else. Destroyed Britain, destroyed Spain, destroyed Prussia, Austria. Everybody got owned. So it was. So when people say that the French can't fight, it's nonsense. It's a lie. France would literally destroyed every country invading it during the French Revolutionary Wars. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go play a little poker. I don't think I've ever done the one at Flatneck Station, so we'll do that one. You mentioned that Italy, the South and North hated each other during your Sniper Elite 4 playthrough. Yes, that is true. The thing about this is that the North Italy and South Italy is almost like two separate countries. A lot of people don't know that, and I'm generally surprised that Italy never split into two countries. That's what I'm generally surprised by. I don't know how that didn't happen. Because usually when there's so much division in a country like that, it usually splits into few countries. So I don't know how Italy managed to stay together for so long, considering the fact that the South and the North just did not like each other so much. But the South and the North divided Italy. How that basically was is that the North was very rich. It was typically where the richer cities was in the mountains and the more developed cities up there. The South was much more poor. The South was poor, small farms, small towns. People did not have much, and Sicily was the poorest. Sicily was the poorest out of all of Italy. And the North was the ones that historically held the most power. They held the most amount of power, while the South did not have that much. And during World War II, the fascists in Italy were mostly concentrated in the North, where the partisans, the ones who fought against the fascists, were mostly in the South. So Italy has had that much of a divide. It's gotten better in recent years. It's not as bad as it used to be, but but Italy has been very divided for most of its history. Right now I'm at my lowest, but the streams and community keep me going. Well, I hope everything's okay, Merciless. The GTA leak? No. And every single time I hear GTA leak, I'm not gonna believe it. Just anything, Jonathan. The only GTA leak that I ever believed, ever, was the one where we saw gameplay. But that was because we had actual gameplay. That was the only time I actually believed any GTA leak. But I don't believe any GTA leak. No, none. I hope everything gets improves for you too, Merciless. Why don't you gamble in GTA Online? I could do that. Oh, I'm not gonna get into politics. I'm just not gonna answer political stuff. I stay away from that. How's Modern Warfare 3? It's okay. I just hope the campaign picks up a bit. Was the 17th century when pirates and ships were around? 17th and 18th century, yeah. Yeah, well, Robespierre, like I said, he's a very interesting figure to read about because he had good ideas. He did mean well, but unfortunately, he just went insane over time. And it's such a shame because Robespierre was a very intelligent man, and if he had never gone insane, like I said, like he could have. There are so many other good things that he could have done if he hadn't gone insane. But unfortunately, he got insane. A lot of innocent people got caught in the crossfire with his policies, and it's just a shame. Why did he end up going insane? Because it was the paranoia. Because he was constantly paranoid of a conspiracy against the revolution in France. I don't think I've ever played at this location on a stream. Okay. Didn't Stalin move the Soviet Union into the industrial era in the 1930s and turn them into a huge industrial power benefiting the USSR? Stalin did industrialize the Soviet Union, that is true, but some of Stalin's other policies resulted in millions of deaths. Like, if you look at the starvations, like, there was massive famines that he had caused. Let's see, betting here. Stalin tried to force collectivize every single farm in the Soviet Union, because what happened was Lenin gave some farmers land, like poor farmers actually got land under Lenin, but when Stalin actually came to power, he collectivized everything. And what that basically means, that means the government owns everything. The government owns all the farms. There is no private ownership, nothing whatsoever. And what ended up happening is when Mao Zedong came to power in China, after the Communist Revolution in China, Mao Zedong basically tried to do the exact same thing that Stalin did, where he tried to force collectivize all the farms. And what happened was, this is one of the reasons the Soviet Union and China split apart, is Khrushchev remembered what happened in the Soviet Union. He was Stalin's successor, and he told Mao, don't mass collectivize the farms because you're going to cause massive starvations. And Mao said, no, this is communism. I'm going to do it how I want to do it. And Mao didn't listen to Khrushchev. But in that case, Khrushchev was 100% right when he was warning Mao of what would happen. And Mao didn't listen. He forced collectivized the farms. It was a complete disaster, and millions of people starved in China. It was a complete disaster. The government can't control literally all the food supply. There has to be private industry allowed. If you have the government controlling every single, farm, it's going to be a disaster. It always ends that way. Okay, 2 and an ace here. We never had high-speed rail here in the U.S. because the auto and airline industries have been big lobbies, and most of the budget goes to the military, who squanders it on recruitment ads and not research, huh? Oh yeah, Khrushchev and Mao hated each other. Yeah, maybe I'll make a video on the Max Payne remake when we get a trailer, though. Okay, I really hope that I get a matching card here, please. No matching cards. Wonderful. What Robespierre did later sounds like McCarthyism, bro. Password Plus had a puzzle on Joseph McCarthy episode. Clues were Wisconsin Senator, conductor, communist, and Hunt. The thing about that is McCarthyism is basically the earliest form of cancel culture, when you think about it. That was pretty much what it was. Is that with McCarthyism, is that if they suspected you of being a communist, they would ruin your life. Even if you had nothing to do with communism, if you were not a communist, the government would just ruin your life. Now, they can't imprison somebody for being a communist. There's no crime against being a communist. But if they suspected that somebody was a communist, what they would do is they would blacklist them from any jobs. Every time that somebody would try to apply to a job, it would say suspected communist, communist sympathizer, stuff like that. And the people, they would basically have their lives ruined. They wouldn't be able to get a job anywhere. Their reputation would be destroyed. And so but the thing about this is McCarthy would constantly attack people that he did not like, people that had nothing to do with communism, opponents, political opponents, that he would accuse of being communists. And so it just turned into a giant witch hunt, which is why that book, The Crucible, it's that famous book about the Salem witch trials. It was written during McCarthy's time, because that's what it was basically making fun of. It was making fun of the McCarthyism and how stupid it was and dumb. Mao Zedong is nowhere near a benevolent dictator, though. The closest thing that I can think of to a benevolent dictator is Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore, the Singaporean dictator. He's like the only dictator that I can think of that actually cared about his people. The only one. Like, every single dictator does horrible things, murders his people in his country constantly, arrest political prisoners. Lee Kuan Yew, I'm sure he did some bad things, but it's nowhere close to what all of these other dictators did. And he actually made Singapore into an economic powerhouse. Singapore is one of the richest countries in the world today because of Lee Kuan Yew. The average Singaporean makes way more money than the average American. So his policies worked in Singapore. Okay, ace and 2. I got the same cards again, I just realized. Ace and 2. Oh, come on. When I think the next GTA game will come out, it's definitely not coming out this year. Come out 2024, 25, but late 2024 if anything. Oh, come on. Stop betting more. I hope better days will come when, one day we need to stop being so negative all the time. Well, I don't know what you mean, though. My Scarface playlist is missing a stream. Well, thank you for telling me. What city in history would you like to visit? I would like to visit Constantinople. A city that doesn't exist anymore? What city would I like to visit? You know, believe it or not, maybe I would like to see, what was it? I would like to see, the capital city of the Mongolian Empire. I forget what it's called, but it doesn't exist anymore. The city got taken apart for the most time people left, but I'm curious what the capital of the Mongolian Empire would look like at its height. I'm gonna try to win this, but unless I get an ace, I'm screwed here. Ah, he has a pair. He's gonna win this unless I get an ace. Ah, damn. You're impressed with the Mongolians? Well, I always wondered what the Mongolian cities would have looked like at their height, like when they were so powerful. You can actually see what the Mongolian cities look like. If you play Mount and Blade Bannerlord, they have a pretty good impression of what their cities looked like. Okay, let's see if I can win a hand here. Ah, these cards are terrible. Wait a second. Wait. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What? Go ahead, throw it in. I'm gonna win this hand. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna win this hand. Can't believe he went in with those cards. There we go. I said I was going to win that hand. How would you feel if a GTA game never came out? What do you mean, regular dude? Like, if the GTA games never came out, we'd probably have something else. We'd probably all be playing Saints Row. Found you from your GTA 4 videos. Oh, you found me from my lore videos. Oh, okay. Did you like them? I'm gonna have another GTA 4 lore video, the Pegorino one. That one's coming up. I think people are gonna love it. Okay, queen and 5. Okay, let's see here. Check it. Okay. Folding. They're literally gonna... I can tell. A lot of these guys don't know what they're doing. I can tell. Yeah, I folded. I dodged a bullet there by folding. Eight high straight wins 20 cents? Wait, what? Say what and keep playing the game? I just don't like to say words I don't know what they are, Jake. What is that? Is that a bad word? Thank you for the super chat. Ooh, ooh. Okay. I'm confident in this hand. It's from the minions? Oh, oh. Bellow? Two, okay. Pro, wasn't the Mongolian Empire technically the first capitalist society to exist? Yes, they were. I would argue they are, yeah. There's a home board game of that one? Huh. I wonder why they don't run that show, though, anymore, because it seemed like it'd be interesting trying to guess all these, Paraforce. Why did you guys go in with those cards? What were you doing? These people don't know what they're doing. Like, why are... These people don't know what they're doing. Well, yeah, the Mongolian Empire was probably the first capitalist society, not Britain, because the Mongolians, that's how they made their money, is that the Mongolians encouraged trade with other civilizations. And the Mongolians did not typically, they typically did not discriminate against civilizations based on their culture or their religion. They let them keep it. A lot of other civilizations, a massive mistake a lot of other civilizations did, is back then when civilizations would conquer other civilizations, what they would do is they would force their culture and their religion on the other civilization, and that caused endless rebellions. The Mongolians, on the other hand, when they conquered an area, they typically would have lower taxes, and they wouldn't force their religion and their culture on people. You obviously had to be loyal to the Khan, but you weren't required to follow their religion or their culture. You could still keep your own culture. And so because of that, the Mongolians actually encouraged the civilizations they conquered to keep their own culture, and they encouraged them to sell to other civilizations they conquered. So the Mongolians would set up trading posts between the two cities. Like two different cities from two different civilizations that they might conquer. And the Mongolians, when they took over the Silk Road, the Mongolians had a checkpoint on the Silk Road. I think went on for like 900 miles or something like that, and the Mongolians had a checkpoint. Every single 2 or 3 miles, they had like an actual checkpoint. And so that ensured that when traders went from city to city, they would feel safe. So yeah, I would say the Mongolians were the ones who invented capitalism, not the British. How the Mongolian Empire collapsed? The Mongolian Empire collapsed, the reason that it collapsed was because they didn't name a specific successor. And so when the Khan died, they were all arguing over who the successor was going to be. Do you think the Mongolian Empire would defeat the Roman Empire? Yes, they would. Because the Romans were having massive economic problems. The Mongolians never really had economic problems in their empire, and the Romans were having massive economic problems, and they couldn't control the territory that they had. It was the Golden Horde, then it was the dynasty in China, I forget that name. And then there was the Khanate, the other one. There was a few different, that he split up their empire into. The first democratic society, oh, that'd be very hard to answer that one. A lot of people think that it's the Greeks, but there was also a lot of societies that experimented with republics. kind of cards you got? Let's see. He's gonna win with that, but he didn't win much. What's your question? Okay. Actually, the Soviet Union and China actually did go to war. A lot of people don't know that Soviet Union and China did have a war, but the war only went on for like a week or two. It was on the border region. You know what's really crazy about that? But look it up, Soviet-Chinese war. There was actually a war that happened. It was in the late 60s, I believe. And what happened was, when the Soviet Union and China actually went to war, the Soviets actually called the U.S. because they had like a line that they would connect each government with, and the Soviets told the U.S. government, if we decide to nuke China, don't get involved. That was basically what the Soviets were saying to the U.S. The U.S. reaction to that, the U.S. was actually hoping that it happened. I know that sounds really messed up, but the reason the U.S. government was hoping that would happen was because it was their two biggest enemies, China and the Soviet Union, literally about to nuke each other. And they were about to destroy each other. And so that was like their two biggest enemies that were about to destroy each other. What do you think of the Napoleon movie? Is it out yet? I want to go see it when it comes out. Can't get an 8. Folding. I'll try one more hand after this. Do you think we'd ever get an independent president? George Washington was the only one. No. We will never get an independent president again because the political parties just have too much power in the U.S. Honestly, both political parties need to be broken up. Both of them are just, yeah, they just both need to be broken up. Is a new exclusive target out in Hitman? The max that you can bet is only $5, which sucks. I wish you could bet more. Okay, it's gonna be my last hand. Let's see what we get here. Opinions on wolves? Well, I hope I don't hate wolves, but I hope I don't see any because they're dangerous. My last days of retail were hell, pro. I quit early because my friends told me they got laid off due to low sales. Management treated them like expendable garbage, so I left. Why would they fire people for low sales? It's not your fault. It's the store's fault. That store sounds stupid. Okay, let's see here. 7 and 8. Okay, come on, make a bet already. Okay. Yes, the scammer. There's a video where I piss off the scammer. You guys are gonna laugh so much at it. I'm letting you guys know. There is a scammer that I pissed off. I had him on the call for over an hour. So I talked to a scammer on the phone for an hour. I trolled him so bad, I made him question his sanity. Like, that's how badly I trolled him. And when you see the dumb things that I was saying to the scammer, the thing about this is the scammer got so angry he started cursing and he was dropping F-bombs. and I recorded the whole thing. You guys will see me just getting screamed at by a scammer on a YouTube video. But the thing about this is the scammer, I was so good at trolling the scammer. I was so good at trolling him that he did, even after the phone call ended, he didn't even realize that he got trolled. And he still tried to contact me to scam me further. So he still kept trying to contact me. So he literally was not, he didn't even realize I trolled him. I trolled him so bad. But I don't want to spoil what I did to troll him. But I tricked the scammer. I tricked him. He was so stupid, he fell for it. Hi, Pro. Happy Friday. Take care. Thank you, Athena. Happy Friday, too. Thank you for sponsoring my channel for nearly a year. Thank you. The CEO of FTX, Sam Bankman, just got over 110 years behind bars for the FTX scam. He's going to miss out on GTA 6 now. Well, thank you, Quits. Thank you for the super chat, man. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Maybe, Steve. We're going to have to see. Okay. Are you still trolling the scammer? No, it's over. Me and my friend were actually trolling him yesterday. Last night we're trolling him again still, but it's over. We stopped at this point. There we go. Win again. Okay. Okay, yep. Walking away from the table now. We got that. If beans got canned, how will your channel look today? What? The thing about that, one thing that I will tell you guys about the people that run like those scams on like the stock market and the pyramid schemes and all that other stuff. What I'll tell you about that is, let me see, did the guy actually oh, it's on TV today. Did he actually get 110 years? Let me just Google that really quick. I'm just gonna Google that really fast here. Charges that can lead to a maximum of 110 years in prison. He may face a decades-long sentence. Okay. Now, what I'll tell you guys about this is, with these like stock scams and these, these cryptocurrency scams and stuff like that, the thing about this is that as the amount of time that these people get in prison shows us just how much what the courts value the most is that they value money. Now, look, the guy's a piece of crap. He's a scumbag. He should rot in prison. Don't get me wrong. But think about it this way. What did the guy do? He ran a cryptocurrency scam, right? He did a cryptocurrency scam, and he scammed people out of millions of dollars, possibly even more, hundreds of millions of dollars. But he didn't kill anybody, which killing somebody is the absolute worst thing that you can do. If somebody murders somebody else, 20 years in prison in a lot of places, get out on good behavior. But if you run a financial scam where you scam like people out of millions of dollars, you're getting sent to life in prison, over hundreds of years in prison, and you're not getting out. And to me, that doesn't really make much sense, because I don't think the murderer should get out of prison. I think the murderer should stay in prison for the rest of his life. I don't understand how somebody that does a financial scam gets put in prison for longer than a murderer. How does that make sense? That doesn't make sense to me. So that's what I say when I'm saying that the sentences don't make sense to me personally. I'm not defending the guy. The guy's a piece of crap. I hope he rots in prison. But that's the only thing that I'm saying about it, is that why is it that people that run these like pyramid schemes and all this other stuff, that they get like over 100 years in prison, but somebody that kills somebody else, takes a human life, gets like 20 years in prison? That doesn't make sense to me personally. I don't think I mean, do you guys agree with me? That doesn't really make sense, because I don't know how that makes sense. Somebody that murders somebody is going to get 20 years, but then somebody that is just like runs like some pyramid scheme gets like 100 years in prison. I got 95 out of 100 on my first assignment. Oh, congratulations, Mr. Waifu. I'm happy for you, man. I don't think you get out of prison on good behavior when you commit a murder. You can. It depends on the states. Certain states are more harsher with their punishments, but other states you can get out. Bro, watch Lost and Damn playthrough. Johnny was tough and learned from it, and GTA 5 was on drugs because actually seeing him get killed. Trevor said, Sad, would you do a lore video on Johnny one day? Yes, I will. A lot of people have requested it. MZG, I'll do it. Yes, I'm probably gonna do it this year too. Well, the people that go on trial for scamming, typically it's like, typically it's like affecting like 1 or 2 per people, like maybe a few more. But like the people that run those big scams where they like scam millions of dollars, they typically get like life sentences. I have completed the story and read it online. Yeah, some people are saying. I actually talked to a friend about that today, that the next Call of Duty game might be the Gulf War. There's leaks saying that. I don't know, we're gonna have to wait and see. But I guess I'll be wrapping up the stream here, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'll still stick around and answer 1 or 2 questions before I go, so if you guys want to ask me anything before I go, feel free to ask me. I'll answer here. Why do you think Rockstar is the only company with so many glitches and bugs in their online game but never get treatment like Cyberpunk or any other company? Because of the fanboys. The fanboys and the reviewers. The reviewers don't want to attack Rockstar. That's the thing is. I mean, do you see the reviewers attacking Rockstar as much as they attack like other companies? I don't think so. I mean, there are reviewers obviously that criticize Rockstar, but not to the degree they criticize other companies. How long will we stream? About to end it though. You think Black Ops will get a remake? I think it was leaked that Black Ops is getting a remake. Is the Kane and Lynch 2 multiplayer video still on hold? I'm gonna release it. It's just that a bunch of my friends, it's been hard to get everybody online at the same time, but we're gonna release it. We'll do it. Okay, so I guess I'll probably be wrapping it up. The Arasaka Corporation fought in World War II. The what? Oh, crap. Okay, I didn't even realize there was a train coming in, too. That sucked there. Yeah, I liked Watch Dogs Legion, and I'm gonna have a video talking about Watch Dogs Legion in the future and how I think it failed.
Get the hell away from me.
Maybe I'll do merch one day. Okay. But I guess I'm gonna be going here, guys. Then, thank you guys for hanging out with me. And if you guys enjoyed the stream, do drop a like. It does help my channel out a lot. And I love how you dress up for your live streams. Thank you, man. I dress up for my playthroughs also. If you haven't checked them out, though, I think you'll like them too. But I will have another part of Modern Warfare and Undead Nightmare out tomorrow. And then I'm going to have a Red Dead lore video probably up this weekend, and then we're going to work on the Peg Arena lore video. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.